Well, everyone, the iPhone 11 has been out for a couple of years now, and what's crazy is that this iPhone has a couple of changes so far already in the last couple of days. I've done a review of this thing earlier this year, and I want to kind of refresh it with some new things that have changed with this iPhone. Now, starting off with the outside, this is the thing that hasn't changed at all. We're still getting that 6.1-inch Retina IPS panel on the front. Still looks very good. There's really not too much to complain about here. I've always felt like Apple has done a really good job with their panels, and their IPS panels weren't really that bad, so this one is no exception. You're still getting that, notch up top, which is great. The lightning port is still at the bottom. You're getting glass on the back, which looks beautiful. You're getting that dual camera setup there too. And overall, it's a very good looking phone still. There's not that much to complain about here. And I think that is one very important thing to keep in mind here. Now, on top of that, this phone is still looking very good. You're getting that dual camera setup on the back, wireless charging, IP certification, the whole 9 yards. This phone is still exactly what you'd expect. And I think that's a very good thing going on with this specific device. Now, on top of that, the camera on the back, that dual camera setup still is pretty decent. You're getting 4K at 60 on the back, and you're getting 4K at 60 on the front as well. So that's something that's really cool. I definitely do think that with a phone like the iPhone 11, it definitely could have been a lot worse. And I've always been a fan of this specific device. And even now, I still think it looks very, very good for the most part. Now, one of the biggest things that has kind of changed, if I'm being honest, is pretty much with, you guessed it, iOS 17. This thing did end up getting iOS 17, which is great. I'm glad this thing ended up getting it. But the big thing to keep in mind is that this thing didn't really get all the features within iOS 17. And that's the thing that I saw. I was not expecting this thing to get every single feature within iOS 17, but even basic ones like the autocorrect features there, but the inline sentence finishes, I'm surprised Apple took that away. That didn't really make too much sense to me why Apple did something like that. And I think when it comes down to it, it's just one of those things that's just like Apple being Apple. They want to limit some features here and there. And that was the one thing that kind of threw me off. This iPhone also is now in second place of being discontinued with software. So what this means is that if you took all the iPhones that have been supported for the last year, the iPhone 11 was fifth in place of getting, dropped in support. Now it's second in place. So that's a very scary thing, but I would still say this iPhone is going to be supported probably for the next 2 years at bare minimum. So you're still going to be getting iOS 18 on this thing. You're still going to be getting iOS 17 updates, then iOS 18 updates, and then maybe it'll get iOS 19, probably not, but it's still something that could end up happening. So I think that's another thing that, we could probably keep in mind here too, but it is very weird how things like this just kind of end up happening like that. Now, performance-wise, it's still a pretty good performing iPhone for the most part. We all kind of know this. The Apple A13 Bionic chip inside is very decent. It still has 4 gigabytes of RAM, which is very good. So I think overall, this is still a very, very good performing device. There's really not too much to complain about here, but it is not a great performing phone. It is still fairly choppy in terms of some things here and there. It can give you some glitched frames, and it can be kind of a slower experience of loading some things up here and there. So that's just, again, one thing that kind of happens when you get a device like the iPhone 11. Because it is kind of a couple years old now, it's definitely going to start showing its age. But I think overall, with a phone like the iPhone 11, it's still worth buying, but there are some really weird things that have been changing with Apple. I feel like with the iPhone 11 in particular, this was a phone that was a very good priced phone, and it still is a very good priced phone. But the fact that Apple is discontinuing dropping support of a bunch of different iPhones, I don't know. I feel like Apple could be doing a better job here, and it's just a very, very weird thing that Apple is doing. So in terms of that kind of covers it up there. If you have any other thoughts or questions, let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that'll mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.